Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. Richie here, where I talk about my favorite thing in the entire world, goddamn cryptocurrency. As part of my SUI ecosystem coins videos, you might have noticed I did one a couple days ago on Toilet Dust Project. Well, today I'm going to be touching on another banger of a project on SUI that you might not have heard of. SUI is a very fast-growing ecosystem. You can just look at the chart for how well SUI is doing at the moment. It's back up to $4.20, and I think all-time highs are coming very soon for SUI and beyond. It is the ecosystem and the coin for this current cycle that's going to print the most X's. And the project we're covering today is a very nice one. I've met the founder many times in spaces, and I think what is on offer with Aquashock is a great project for the future. So we're going to be covering that today. Of course, we cover so many projects on this channel, but I like specifically talking about SUI-based projects because that's where we did launch our own coin, SUI Trump, which you can find now is pumping once again. It's on CoinGecko. We're up 2% on the day, above $400,000 market cap, and we're at an all-time high in the last 3 months chart, which is great to see. We did release our newest utility website for SUI Trump just the 2 days ago now, which is SUIDEX, suidex.org, where you can come and see our landing page for what we're about to release for SUI Trump. SUI Trump is going to have its own DEX and yield farm called SUIDEX, where we will be buying and burning SUI Trump with 40% of the fees. Now, I've already talked about this in my last video, so I'm not going to touch on it too much today, but do know that we do have a private raise, which is going to be happening on the 1st of June. If you have interest in that, you can join our waiting list now. We have almost 200 entries into the waiting list already within just over 48 hours, so we're growing very nicely there. Join our Telegram for that, or join the SUI Trump socials if you want to know more information. I'll be covering it, of course, in video later on today. But we're coming to Bubble, because today we're not just talking about SUI Trump, which is, SUI Trump's great. We all know that. But Bubble is where you can find everything that's happening on SUI. Now, I particularly like Bubble because it has more coins listed of a smaller market cap than even CoinGecko does not have, right? You're not going to find all the most potential pump coins on CoinGecko, but Bubble.fun lists many other projects. We've already seen, new coins which just popped up over the past week. We have Boost, which is from SUI Booster, which is a boosting app for projects. They also have a DAO, and now they've released their token. We have Bloop, which came out a couple days ago, which is only at $32,000 market cap. So some of these are quite small market caps with great chances to get to that kind of 100,000, then 500,000, then $1 million market cap. And, here's another one that I picked up the other day, Mutant Blub. We all have Blub, we all have Blub, but do you know Mutant Blub? I do. I picked it up and I've already made a pretty good pocket on it. I go small with these and then I see how they go. So Mutant Blood, now I put in $50. I've now got $87. Free money, essentially, right? But today we're going to talk about Shock. So if we type in Shock into Bubble, you're going to find it is listed 13% up to date. So the stats on Aquashock today are the market cap is only $50,000, right? With liquidity of $19.9 thousand and today's volume of $3.4 thousand. So the volume is pretty good for Aquashock for being such a small market cap coin. If you want to check out their website, you can find it here. I would suggest getting most of their information from their X and their Telegram, because that's where I got most value from Aquashock, okay? From these two areas here, you can check out their chart, of course, on Dex Screener as well. Now, if you did want to buy Aquashock, just before we even get going with this, you can actually buy on Bubble, right? So you can come here to trade, and that's where you will come up with the SUI balance in your wallet, and you can buy some more Shock. Now, you see, I have 170 million Aquashock tokens. That's right. So I already went into this very early and grabbed Shock. I haven't even sold a single bag of Aquashock since, the whole thing's been launched. And all you got to do is, for example, I want to take here $40 and we come here, we click swap. It will bring up the wallet of your choice. I recommend either Nightly Wallet or Slush Wallet for interacting on SUI, right? These are the two wallets that I think are the best ones to do. And I'm just going to put this. Yeah, there we go. Approve, right? And they're as fast as that. And I have now bought myself more Aquashock. That's right. I got another 8 million tokens adding to the bag. Why not? It's so cheap. And everything that we're seeing today, all these small caps I just showed you, they have the potential to go to hundreds of thousands of dollar market cap. Even going to $100,000 market cap for Shock is a 2x, right? And further, right? So putting in small buys of these or $50 to $100 is always a nice speculative play. Shock has been around for a while now, and it's still doing very well. So that's why I bought more Shock. That's what happens, right? So let's find out more about what's going on with Aquashock. You can come, as I said, to their website. Their website's pretty bare bones. You can buy on Bubble. You can buy on Chop as well. Chop is a project we've covered in the past as well. Let me bring that up. So Chop is a coin and ecosystem inside of Sui. They have their own token, and they also have Chop Swap, where you can swap tokens. And you can buy Bubble here as well. Now, you might be thinking here, why am I talking about Shock? When I just mentioned that I'm going to be, bringing up new DEX on Sui called Sui DEX. And I'm talking about a project which I own a lot of the tokens of, which means I could, if I wanted to, supply liquidity for Aquashock. And because I'm quite pally with the dev, I could even open up a reward pool for Aquashock inside of our farm. That's right. That's because partner projects of Sui DEX and Sui Trump get a reward pool. Apply for a reward pool now. Want your token to be part of our ecosystem? Submit your project for review to set up a reward pool where users can stake and earn victory rewards. Only selected projects will be approved. What will happen there? That will mean when you come to Sui DEX, the swap area, there will be liquidity added for that coin. For example, Aquashock, right? Then you'll be able to take Sui and Aquashock, make an LP coin, and put it into the farm, stake it into the pool, and get yourself passive income in Victory Coin. You can then unstake from that pool at any time and then unsplit your liquidity and get your tokens back at any time, like any other yield farm, right? Like PancakeSwap or like Cetus or whatever. So that's what's happening. And I am a big fan of Aquashock. So you can put 2 and 2 together there and await an upcoming announcement about what might just shock you. Wow. You ready to be shocked? Aquashocked. So as I said, you can come to their X, right? Which is where you might find a lot more information, I think, about what's going on with Shock, because they're most, I think Aquashock are most active on X, right? So they have 2,000 followers, again, a small following on X, right? What do? So to build their community and get more engagement, what the dev of Aquashock does is, along with the token, they create one-of-one NFTs, which they put onto Tradeport, which is the NFT marketplace of Sui. So just today, they put a one-of-one single treasure ape oddity released. This marks the first public NFT available on the oddity collection, mintable for one adventurous ape. So then you can come to Tradeport, right? And Tradeport will then have the listing of all of these NFTs, which Aquashock are continuing to release, So they're called Shock Oddities. This one is the Aquashock Treasure Ape Oddity, right? You can mint it for 50 Sui, which is an expensive price for an NFT. That would be $250, right? But it's a one-of-one. If you come to Shock Oddities, you'll also see that they have other ones as well. You can come here to items, and they have a list of kind of really fun, different Shock Oddities, which have been minted and claimed by different projects. So for example, we talked about toilet the other day. Here's the toilet Shock Oddity, whereas the Shockmaster from WCW days, lifting golden toilets, right? Here we have a special Barbie remix, which is pretty cool. So this one, I believe, was made for Mr. Furley from the Sui Accelerator, who you might notice I go live with on X and on YouTube every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And this is the Aquashock Wise Degen, because that's his Twitter moniker, and that's got some moves there, right? So you can see the dev of Aquashock is pretty nifty with his AI art, right? Which is also a great way of marketing and building tokens and onboarding more community members. So that is Aquashock covered for you. I suggest that you get into their Telegram, you follow their socials, and you see just what has been built. They're even, they're retweeting about, what's going on with SUIDEX and SUI Trump. We're building an army. We're building a community of like-minded and, smart and invested developers, creators, community members, and on SUI, because we want to build everything upwards. We need momentum for a chain to truly take off. Momentum comes from excitement, comes from people talking, chitter chatter, working to get the signals of social media, the signals of green candles firing up, right? As we see more of these green candles firing up on different projects, small caps turning into mid caps turning into large projects. This is what I think is going to happen on SUI. From all of these small projects which I've been covering in the past, we will start seeing them getting larger and larger. Examples of this, just before we head off for the day, is, if we come to what happened with two tokens in particular, which we covered earlier in this channel, right? So we'll come to Toilet, right? Toilet is currently now $3.3 million market cap. Toilet, before we started talking about Toilet, it was down in like the $200,000 market cap. Serious money has been made here. Another one that we talked about as well, which was down a similar kind of market caps to where Aquashock was before, Pumpkin Token, which is now $1.6 million market cap. Now, both of these have different things going for them, right? For example, Pumpkin Token, if you come here, I'm using their bot here to trade on Bluefin, and Pumpkin allow me to have a SUI trading bot. I'm about to start using this more seriously. If we check out what's been going on here with my wallet, you can see, if we go to perpetuals, over the 7-day, I am now up 11.3% on my USDC that I put into this bot. So it is working very well. It is actually producing money. So why not start learning more about it, putting more money into it, right? There are loads of different projects all over Bubble.fun where you can see continuous large moves up, and the future is bright for SUI. Hope you enjoyed learning about a new project today. For your consideration, of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just me talking about what is exciting me and what I'm doing and working towards with my own, independent work as well. Peace, be good to each other. Don't get too shocked and don't get wrecked.